Hi guys, it's ordinary people who don't understand tariffs, not Donald Trump. That's the opinion of the US president. So with the economy facing not a recession but something on the scale of a second depression, instead of U-turning on tariffs, Donald Trump seems to think that he can eliminate income tax and raise money via tariffs instead. Now this was a US policy back in the 1800s, before people could conceive of the idea of global trade and international supply chains. This is beyond insane.
And we're going to make a lot of money, and we're going to cut taxes for the people of this country. It'll take a little while before we do that, but we're going to be cutting taxes, and it's possible we'll do a complete tax cut, because I think the tariffs will be enough to cut all of the income tax. Now, we have a lot of debt that's been left to us, unfortunately, over many years. We'll take care of that, but the tariffs, if people only understood the tariffs, we're going to be giving people of this country a tremendous tax cut. And we're going to start with people making less than $200,000 a year. Any movement on
Okay. Donald Trump is suggesting that people don't understand the tariffs. This is the same guy who kept saying that China would pay the tariff, when in reality it's the importer that's paying the tariff. Now, before I get to why relying on tariffs to fund public services is an insane idea, trade has already dropped between the US and China. This is the port of Seattle. It says here, tariff tit for tat has Seattle waiting for the ships to come in. Now it says here, data from the Marine Exchange for Puget Sound and Industry Association shows the number of arriving container ships berthing at Seattle and Tacoma terminals from the 1st of April to the 24th of April was down 12% compared with the same period in 2024. Arrival of ships carrying automobiles in April was down 36%. Now the article goes on to say about how this is actually damaging the industry, the port authority, the jobs in the area as well, because so many jobs are reliant on trade as well. Not just the actual of trading goods, but actually the logistics as well. Now, Donald Trump is suggesting what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate income tax and we'll rely on tariffs. But if, as I've pointed out before, some businesses would not be able to pay the tariff because it's just too expensive. There was a small business who said the amount of money they're going to have to pay to the government, and remember, it's the importer pays the tariff, not the exporter. The amount of money they'll have to pay to the government went from something like $30,000 to $200,000. And they said they'd have to remortgage their home just to pay the tariff. So the problem here is that if you rely only on tariffs, which is a tax, it's a tax on businesses, well, if the businesses can't pay it, then you're not going to get the money. Then how are you going to fund public services? Donald Trump's approach to this is we're going to eliminate income tax, which is a guaranteed revenue stream, and replace it with tariffs. But what if some businesses can't pay the tariffs? And also, if the goal of the tariffs is to generate manufacturing in the US and rely less on China, well, that will mean that your revenue stream from the tariffs will eventually decline. And then what are you going to do? How are you going to fund public services then? So his entire approach to this makes no sense whatsoever. He seems to think, okay, what we'll do is we'll use a model from the 1800s, before you had globalization, before you had international supply chains, and we'll use that model to fund the federal government. But we're not living in the 1800s anymore.